It's a beautiful day today. About mid 40s. It is 49, almost 50 right now. It's just a little breeze, but it's really nice out, sunny. Beautiful. And right now I'm just changing the cabin filter on my Corolla that I got. So it's really easy. You just go in the glove box. There's a screw right here you gotta take out. This comes down, pulls out. You just set it off to the side, and then you've got to pull a little plastic clip out from inside there. Pull the old one out, put the new one in. Put that plastic clip back in there. Put this back in, and you're done after you put that screw back in. So I'm just gonna replace that real quick. This is the new one, and I got the old one out, and there's a rat's nest on it, which would explain why it smells like mice in here whenever I turn my AC on. Might also be the reason that I'm not getting any AC. This is disgusting. And it's going straight in the garbage, but on the new one there is an arrow. If you ever decide to do this yourself, this arrow right here where my finger is, it points down. You want it to point down. It goes in pointing down. So I'm gonna put that back in and put everything back together. Alrighty, good to go. I'm gonna throw this straight into the garbage. So it's the next day, and I'm gonna, well, it's 2 days later actually, since I recorded the last one, I believe. And I'm gonna change the water pump on my truck today because it leaks a little bit of coolant, and I don't feel like filling it with coolant every once in a while. So I'm just gonna replace that water pump because my mechanic said that he thinks that the water pump is the issue, either the water pump or the gaskets on the water pump. So I'm just gonna replace the whole assembly just to be safe. We also got our oats in, seed oats. So we'll be able to plant them here coming up once it starts drying a little bit. The reason we plant oats is for kind of like a cover crop for when we plant the alfalfa. Because it helps the alfalfa have protection when it's growing at first, and then we usually cut the oats on first cut. And then after we cut the oats, usually the alfalfa will be coming up nicely after that first cut. And obviously once you cut oats once, they don't really regrow. However, the alfalfa will be growing really nice and strong once you cut that oats. So it helps a lot. Yeah, we got a bit of rain. Nice. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a nice and fun one to replace. I guess we'll start by taking the airbox off, or the tube. Okay, so I couldn't get the water pump off. The fan, I couldn't get that to spin off. It just kept spinning with the water pump. So I'm gonna need to get a special tool to do that, so that's gonna be another day's project. We also got our alfalfa seed. Our alfalfa and our soybean seed. So that's that. It's actually really nice the way they got it organized down there. And then we got our chemicals too for the herbicides and all that stuff. So that's coming here real soon. We got to go out and get the planter ready. Planter's hiding back there yet. Haven't even gotten it out yet. It's back way back there buried. You can see the markers, but we need to get that out and ready to plant for the year. So we also need to start putting duals on some of these tractors to make sure they're ready for tillage and all that stuff and whatnot. Look at these boys. Big tires. But yeah, I'm just gonna go park the truck back where it was, and if I end up doing other stuff, I'll let you know. But that's it for now. So I just went and checked our deer camera out in the woods, and it's actually got a lot of deer on there. Obviously we don't know what kind of deer they are because they all kind of just shed their antlers recently. So there's no deer with antlers in there. But it's still nice to know kind of where they all hang out. Because this is one of our hay fields. And we're going to turn this hay field into corn after first cut. Which will be prime spot for deer to kind of hang out and move around in. And just on the other side of this lip on top of that hill, pretty much right where my finger is right now, there is a trailer blind up there, which can see this entire field pretty much except for this little corner right here, and then the entire field to the other side of it, which I have a pond by that blew out, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping my dad can get us an excavator and we're gonna go down and try to fix up that pond and make it hold water again. We're gonna put a culvert in it to keep it from blowing out again, which should work phenomenally if I'm thinking correctly. But yeah, I just checked the camera. There is bounty for a week or two, or I think it's been almost 2 weeks, and it had 130 pictures, which is 70 more than it had when I brought it out here or checked it last. And 90% of those pictures were of deer walking around back and forth with their fawns and on their own. So hopefully it's a good year for deer hunting. But yeah, this is what we were gonna make our food plot right in here, because it's about from this corner over here all the way to the bottom of that hill where that last pine tree is down there, and then it goes about the same distance in. And I was hoping to get a skid steer in here and kind of clear out some of them trees in there, take a tiller, kind of break up the ground, till it up, throw some clover and soybeans mixed in there and see if it grows nice and see if it attracts more deer or not. It's kind of a test thing because I haven't really done much of that myself, but if it works, that'd be amazing. Another reason I'm doing that is because right now there's so many trees in there, you can't really tell how deep, or you can't really see much when you're sitting, because we have a tripod right in these trees here kind of tucked in, and you can't see much because there's like maybe 10 yards and then it's more pine trees on the other side. I want to get rid of most of them pine trees on the inside, kind of lay them around for deer to use as bedding and whatnot. I wanted to take some of them taller trees, knock them down, because if you cut them, the deer like to use the tops of them to bed near, and they kind of rub their heads on them. So I wanted to make this like a prime deer habitat and maybe get some to come up, and it'd make it more wide open for the tripod to be able to shoot some. So I've been bothering my dad about it, trying to get a skid steer and excavator out here to do that. Just a matter of time to see if he'll decide to do it or not. I'm really hoping he does. Got the dual tires on the 4430, the nicer 4430. As you can tell by it has the fabric. The other one, I don't know if you noticed, doesn't have any fabric, but got the duals on. Went pretty well. It's just 6 bolts that go on there, and you just tighten them on real tight and they suck it on. Seems to be working good. Just going to park it on the shed right now.